Hello everybody and welcome to the Museum of How Cars Work. To give a bit of background as to where all this came from, I had a fascination as a child for anything mechanical. I took pretty much everything I could apart, although I wasn't quite as successful at putting them all back together again. Over the years, I saw a few cutaway models and I was very impressed with them. In particular, about 20 years ago, I was in the Technical Museum in Speyer in Germany and they had a full-size John Deere 3350 cutaway tractor. Then about 15 years ago, I found a book in my local library called The Shell Book of How Cars Work, which had exploded diagrams on all the functions of an engine, transmission, suspension, steering and brakes. I went away then and got a copy of that book from my own library. The next step then happened in Munich about 8 years ago when my wife and we spotted a cutaway model in a driving school window, and I knew that was really what I was looking for. As it transpired, German and Italian driving schools had a very strong focus on learner driving to know how a car operated in addition to driving one. So my collection began then. So fast forward then to about a year ago, and my brother suggested I should really open a museum with all the models, and this struck me as a great way to share these rather than just collect them. I tried then to put enough models together to tell the story of how a car works, basically using these pre-electronic age models. In addition to how a car works, the museum also has a secondary theme, which is recognising the motor assembly industry in Ireland. Over the period 1950 to 1980, approximately, more than 50 different brands were assembled in Ireland. And as an interesting note, the first Volkswagen Beetle assembled outside of Germany was in Dublin in 1950. That particular car is now 75 years old and is on display in the VW Museum in Wolfsburg in Germany. So, the previous video on this channel was taken the day after opening night and the building was really only half ready, but as the expression goes, the show must go on. This video then is of progress to date, and there's significantly more models laid out and a little bit more organisation after coming to the space. So over the coming weeks, things will continue to develop and improve, so do tune in from time to time to catch up with progress.